Good morning, everybody. This is April 16th, 2015, and I'm Cindy K. Courier. And it is a rainy day here at Lake Norman, but it's a little chilly, so it's still pretty out there on the lake. I want to thank all of you who have written and provided input on the Articles of Confederation for the Res Publica for the United States of America, and we've gotten some great input below the videos. Really good input in a Facebook group called Living Without Money, which I'd like to invite you to join. Also, some good discussion in the Skype room and via email. So let me give you all that information so that you can join these discussions. Of course, below this video, which would probably be the easiest if you're watching this, rise.together is the Skype contact. cindyk@gmail.com is my email. And what's the other one? I don't remember, but the website to go to look at the articles is AmericanLawOfTheLand.com. And click on Articles of Confederation. And you'll see, if you click on the link, you'll see the latest draft. And I also want to thank you for subscribing. While we were sleeping, we hit 1,000 subscribers to this channel, so thank you. Okay, I got an email from someone yesterday who asked not to be identified. He didn't say much. He just asked a question that got me really thinking. He wanted to know if I related the Walmart closings in the Southwest that we talked about yesterday to the tunnels. And to be honest with you, I knew about tunnels and I knew about the Walmart closings, but there were some other things about Walmart that I didn't know. And so I want to thank you, you know who you are, that prompted this investigation. This morning, I decided to enter 3 words in a Google search: Walmart, DHS, and tunnels. And I want to share with you now what I came up with. Let me put my glasses on. This, as you can see at the top of this page, says this page is an outdated user-generated website brought to you by an archive. It was mirrored from geosites at the end of October 2009. For any questions concerning this page, try to contact the respective author, and they give a site here. It says the official Wal-Mart Tunnels of Paulding County investigation. In order to further protect the homeland and ensure the safety of its citizens in case of nuclear, biological, or chemical attack, a joint venture of the NSA, DOD, MIB, DHS, CICs, DFCS, and BK has been created in order to create an expansive tunnel system throughout the South. These tunnels will also serve as conduits for national defense to rapidly move troops, supplies, and armor throughout the nation between strategic topographical locations. A map of the believed military and government installations affected and connected by this tunnel system, Paulding County, Georgia, is said to be the central location of the project. Yorkville, Georgia, is to be a terminus of sorts for the hubs in Anniston, Alabama; Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina; Greenville, Spartanburg, South Carolina; Macon, Georgia; Outlook Mountain, Tennessee; Lockheed Martin in Marietta, Georgia. Walmart's involvement in the project has not yet been officially commented on, but it is generally perceived that Walmarts in these areas are staging areas for the tunnel project. It is to be noted that this project is under a great deal of scrutiny by those who live near the ongoing construction project. Analysts do not believe the project will be available for public use and will not be publicly acknowledged. Rumors of usage by NASA for its installation in Huntsville, Alabama have been found to be true. Okay, you sleuths out there. You know, we've been saying that we, to do our due diligence. Those who live in these areas, we've been encouraging you to take your cameras, take pictures, pay attention to what's going on at Walmart. What a better way to access tunnels than through what would look like plumbing. And if you do some searches on this, you'll see that people are posting information that no permits have been accessed or applied for by Walmart to do that kind of work. So, none of us really think there's plumbing stuff going on. What is going on? It looks like tunnel stuff, actually. So, that's pretty interesting. So, that gives us another direction to look, doesn't it? As you know, I usually, I don't want to go off cocked on things. That was a 2009 post. Who did it come from? Not sure. I didn't write to Geosites to find out. But what I did do was pay closer attention to another post that was made yesterday. In 2010, this came out, and someone posted in one of the groups yesterday from NBCnews.com, Homeland Security taps new partner in terror fight, Walmart. By month's end, 588 stores will participate in See Something, Say Something campaign. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has enlisted a new partner in its fight against terrorism, Walmart. Let's just see what this video says.
Hi, I'm Janet Napolitano, Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Homeland Security begins with hometown security. That's why I'm pleased that Walmart is helping to make our communities more safe and secure. If you see something suspicious in the parking lot or in the store, say something immediately. Report suspicious activity to your local police or sheriff. If you need help, ask a Walmart manager for assistance. Thank you for doing your part to help keep our hometowns safe.
Down here in this article it says Fogelman, I guess he's a Walmart guy, said employees won't receive any special training as part of the program, but Walmart managers do work closely with local police. Okay. So I'm going to put this link below the video so you can check out that article as well as the link to this. Let's take a look. We want to take a look at some of these tunnels here. This was posted by the Kim Rob on March 7th, 2013.
Goes all the way to Washington, D.C., huh? Goes all the way to Washington, D.C. Yeah, you Homeland Security? Yeah. How far have you taken this down to, how far have you actually ran a load? 100 miles? Up to Maine? No shit. How many miles do you think that is? Man, that's unbelievable. Not to mention, I heard there's one that goes all the way to Colorado, right? Unbelievable. What do you think you're hauling? Any idea? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Makes all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's been a lot of military stuff being hauled around lately, that's for sure, huh?
We deliver to them.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I heard that's water supply, food supply, everything's in there. Yeah, unbelievable.
You don't get no cell phone service.
No. Peace, brother. passageway system here that runs all the way to Maine, to Washington, D.C., to Colorado. It's fully stocked. It runs completely underground. And you can see they've been hauling tons of military equipment. You know, they're stocking all these bases. Now, the other thing is the railroad system here is also very strategic. They're bringing in boxcar loads and they're dump shipping here, and they can really deliver to all these locations, which these locations go all the way to Area 51. These locations go all the way to Washington, D.C. There's access underneath the White House to this location, okay? So this...
Okay, it's hard to hear him because he's got a lot of wind, but I'm going to post this beneath the video so you can watch the whole thing. Thank you, Kim Rob, for this post. Let's take a look at it. A post by this person, JRAE 50021.
He thought he had been to every single base in America, right? And then he got contracted to do a truck haul for some top secret stuff. So it was a load where he wasn't even allowed to look inside the load or anything. Like, he had to go, drop his truck off.
And while this video is going, by the way, I'm going to show you images from this video. They don't go together, but I'm going to put them together to save time and just to give you an image to watch. This is a still while he's talking. So let's continue.
Like the night before, and then come back the next morning and pick up his truck all loaded up and sealed, and he had all this like documents and stuff. And they told him that he had to go out to a place called Iran, Texas, with 2 A's, right? And they said turn off on this turn off, and it was like 178B. It wasn't even to a street.
Pretty cool stuff.
So he was driving, he got to the turn off, he turned off, and it was just a dirt road going in the desert. So he goes putting down the desert thing. He gets to like a shack, and there's like a shanty town around, and there's those big old like oil things. Oil things, yeah, but they aren't pumping or nothing. And he just says he's seen a Jeep, like a military Jeep, and one guard inside the shack. And it's like mess. So he goes up, and the guard tells him to stay in your truck, and see your paperwork, all this stuff. He says, all right, I want you to pull your truck over there, stay inside the cabin. Like, I'm gonna hold on to these papers. Calls, he says that these 2 Hummers come up from around the sand dune, and they pull over, and they pull into this blind spot. And then, like a master chief comes over, tells him to switch his radio over to a certain channel and to follow the Hummers. And he gives him back his bill of lading, like his slip. He's like, you're gonna need this when you get to the dock. So he's following the Hummers, and he's going up this hill, right? And he says he's driving this big rig. He's been driving big rig for 15 years at the time. Driving this big rig, going up the hill, and he sees the top of the hill, and then all of a sudden he's going down. He doesn't realize that he just, like, entered something. And the voice comes over the radio, and it tells him to turn on his headlights. So he turns on his headlights, and he said he drove about 3 miles down, doing hatchbacks down into the ground. He said there was an entire underground city in the middle of the desert. And they took him to a dock and had him wait in a room, and he had to give him that last paper. And they took all the stuff off his truck, and then they had him escorted back out. He said, Mike, I have never in my life seen anything that extravagant. It was literally a city. There was laundromats, there was everything you could think of down there. But I couldn't see much of it because I couldn't leave the loading dock area.
Was there people there?
Yeah. Thousands.
Thousands of people.
He said this
Were they
was
human?
literally a city, yeah. He said just military personnel everywhere. And we're talking, he said, there were buildings in there that were 7 stories tall underneath the ground.
Wow.
Hey, that's upsetting.
End of that one.
Places.
Okay. Pretty interesting, eh? Yeah, I think so. So that gives us some more to investigate. And we'll be back with more a little bit later, perhaps. But that's all for now. Thank you for listening. Take care. Good evening, everybody. It is still April 18th, 2015. I'm Cindy K. Courier, and it's about 7 o'clock or 7:30 or so in the evening. And I was planning on coming to you with some information about JADE HELM, but instead, I have some very astute viewers on this channel, and it seems like I know more than get a video out there, and they are like researching the links and finding stuff that I missed, and that's what happened today. And so I want to share some of that stuff with you. Be sure you check out some of the comments below these videos. They're great. I think some of the people who watch these are some of the smartest people in the country and in the world. They're not all local. But let's just start with this. Now, this was the map I told you about this morning that was sent to me by someone who did an overlay of the tunnels in an effort to match the Walmart closings with underground bases. And we see here, I was waiting for a clearer map, but I did get a clearer map. So I want to show you this one first. This does a really good job. There are underground, deep underground military bases below these Walmarts. This is a map that was sent today, as you can see right there. That's a main tunnel entrance. That's a main tunnel entrance, Walmart closing. So it links up pretty well. These are the Walmart closings. Oklahoma, there we go. Florida, I'm not sure how precisely that matches. Looks like it matches pretty precisely. The Texas one and the California one. These are the Walmarts. Goodness. Now, aside from these maps, this was the link I came to yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday morning when I entered the Google search Wal-Mart DHS tunnels, and this was what I came up with, an archived site. And some of the viewers went down and started clicking these links, and what they found was kind of amazing. But before we get to that, I want to share something else with you. We're going to come back to those links. This is Pete Santilli, the Pete Santilli Show. He did a spot on this where he provided some information that I didn't have. Pretty much most of the information that most people have, I have. But Pete shed a different light on this, and we'll just play a short segment and you'll get the picture.
His name, he's actually my brother, who worked high up at Bentonville, Arkansas, at Walmart. He was involved way back when with the Katrina disaster relief, and at that time he told me about how Walmart Corporation in Bentonville, Arkansas, had established an emergency operations center and coordinating with the Department of Homeland Security for the purposes of supply distribution because of Katrina. That's when it started. Now, what has evolved up to this point, we can only speculate, of course, but we do know the following. There's a couple of things here. Let me put this on the screen as well. Facebook and Walmart to help write rules on facial recognition technology. All right, now why this is important is because that same family member had told me while he was working at Bentonville, Arkansas, high up in their corporate chain of command, they were installing, way back when, facial recognition cameras, pinhole cameras at the entrances and exits, and that they were tying their database to the Department of Homeland Security. All right, so at this point in time, if you are wanting to evade detection through facial recognition, do not walk into a Walmart store, because at every entrance and exit, and the reason for this in justifying what they were doing is because 85% of all Americans at one point in time go through a Walmart store. So they want to scan your face, enter you into the database, and then upload that data to the Department of Homeland Security. All right, now let's take that story one step further. All right, we're going to go to Danny McPherson here, who has she's pulled a news story that comes from ABC Action News in Tampa Bay, WFTS, and it's titled as follows. The ITM official says sudden Walmart closings are suspicious. Now,
okay, and what he shares there are things that you've already heard. She's just going to share that the plumbing permits were not acquired, that the closings were unexpected, that there was just some very suspicious behavior around the closings, which you already know. So there, Pete Santilli is saying that back during Katrina, that the Walmarts started being set up as a command center. I forgot which one he named there. It was probably the main one in Arkansas. And that the Walmarts began using facial recognition software, and so that's interesting news, especially when we get to what I want to share with you next. This link, the first one, local web forum of Paulding County discussion of ongoing construction, is talking about the tunnels, and they're talking about the one in Paulding County. Now, remember also, rumors of usage by NASA for its installation in Huntsville, Alabama, have been found to be true. There we have some chatting among some of the workers. There's a forum, if you go to that link, that you can read. And here you see, somebody saying, T-Bar, please be careful. You never know when someone's going to ride right up beside your car and let go of the full automatic machine gun blast to blow you to kingdom come and back again. With all the threats of unbridled intimidation, you would think no one would ever have the raw, unmitigated gall to ever write one of these tunnel messages, let alone start a thread with your name on it and all, okay? So he's kind of being sarcastic there. But you can tell by the chatter that it's, they're just a little bit nervous. They're talking about Congress and some of the congressional hearings. That's one of the pages. This one was particularly interesting. I'm going to start with page 1. Of course, it starts out with chit-chat. This guy's telling about all the changes that occurred in the town. He said, you forgot to mention the new tunneling station the Army Corps of Engineers are doing just north of Yorkville. Tunneling will ultimately connect the Wal-Mart to HELM, the new Wal-Mart, and several others with the underground railway at Lockheed. The system is going to ultimately be used by the National Security Agency as a southeastern U.S. facility network, much like Area 51 is used now in the southwestern part of the U.S. Yeah, somehow I knew you wouldn't mention that little tidbit, but it will bring a lot of government employees to the area and add more business out there. The mindset of these people is unbelievable. So they're going on and on and on. T-Bar, how dare you blow the lid on NSA projects? Didn't you get Art's phone call telling you this was privileged information? He got it straight from Condi, Rumi, and the Veep. CP was left out for being too liberal. Man, here we are with national security matters, and you go blabbering all over PCOM. Where's Putty? Oh, wait a minute. He's a tree hugger too, ain't he? I better give Condi a quick ring, let her know that you let the cat completely out of the bag. This is serious. Copy said eyes only in big red letters. I even had to do the whole biometrics exam before they'd even let me touch it. Man, this NSA stuff is more hush than the CIA, the Phoenix Foundation, UNCLE, 0075, and the firm combined. We're getting beyond the realm of the possible missions here. And he goes on. The big news hit on this project about 10 months ago when the line item for the project came under scrutiny when it was discussed on the floor of Congress. I doubt seriously if anyone would have paid any attention to it, but the Republicans wanted to cut it from the budget. All Hades broke loose, as I understand. And this is from Art Bell, so take it for what it's worth. The National Security Agency, Homeland Security, CIA, and FBI all got together in with the Congressional Budget Committee behind closed doors. It seemed that after the little meeting, there was nothing else said about the project, and that's when Sony Purdue had that little meeting a week later in Rome with all the Washington folks. So there's a search for you. Look up whatever it was. Art Bell, I believe Art Bell was following this project. The problem is that everybody knows art is certifiable. They don't know about you yet, so you're still credible. It's being funny. If you build it there. There's this particular one that I'm looking for that I'm not seeing. Okay. I'm not seeing it, but makes a NASA reference. Okay, I'm not really seeing it. But there's some really good intel here. According to Art Bell Radio Show, all of this is part of the research that'll be done via underground rail system currently being built, and the hub is right here in good old Paulding County, connecting the underground rail system already in Lockheed with the base in Alabama and Chattanooga, and eventually in the Macon area. The Army Corps of Engineers is building these tunnels as fast as possible. Of course, Wal-Mart is not commenting on the government link, but everyone knows Wal-Mart has the building space already. Putting the staging points at key Wal-Marts only makes sense. You can tell by the chatter that these people are just a little nervous. Just a little nervous. Anyway, there was a mention at this link of NASA. And so I wanted to bring up a NASA document that was actually, someone took it off the NASA website, and it's been debunked and decredited, but the person who found it on there are several people who claim, yes, it actually was on there. The people at stopthecrime.net took it and sort of branded it, I think, which takes away from its credibility, but it looks like a PowerPoint. And I want to go over that with you a little bit. Future strategies and issues, future strategic issues, future warfare, circa 2025. Capabilities of the enemy after next, ongoing worldwide technological revolutions, economic trends, potential nature of farther term warfare. And this was NASA Langley Research Center. This was put together by Dennis Bushnell. Okay, now all these little are highlights from this, so we don't have to actually go all the way through it. But the one I want to show you is on page 50, and we can scroll to that if you want to. Effects of low power microwaves. U.S. Army SRI Walter Reed. Behavioral performance decrements, seizures, gross alterations in brain function, 30 to 100% increase in brain blood flow, lethality, interactions between low power microwatts per square centimeter, 0.4 to 3 gigahertz, MW, and brain function. These are weapons that they are already actually using on us. I don't know if you've seen the Gwyn Towers or not, but Gwyn Towers are very real. You see them all over the place. Most people think that they are cell phone towers, and they're not. They're towers designed to do these things. And so it's very possible, that, well, okay, I digress. We'll get on that in another time, but go ahead and enter a search for this, the NASA Warfare Strategy document. I'm showing you these things slowly so you can take keywords off of these things. When you see me scrolling slowly, that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to dawdle. Another interesting thing that came up today. In the European Union Times, U.S. Special Forces in Yemen take over American Wal-Mart stores. An intriguing Foreign Intelligence Service report circulating in the Kremlin today is expressing puzzlement as to why the United States top Special Forces Command, that is currently directing the war in Yemen against Houthi rebel forces, has this past week taken over a number of Wal-Mart stores in America and is now converting them to command and control centers. So this is telling us what they're doing with those Walmarts. So according to this report, SVR electronic intelligence analysts tasked with overseeing their American counterparts this past week identified a series of mysterious communications between the United States Special Operations Command, located at the MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida, and their subservient counterpart located at the U.S. Naval Expeditionary Base Camp Wal-Mart, or whatever, however you say that, where the war in Yemen is being directed from, and all the places from a suddenly closed Wal-Mart store in Brandon, Florida, just 20 kilometers, 13 miles from their main headquarters. So I'm going to post a link to that. You can read that. It mentions JADE HELM, was ending in September coincidentally. So they're relating this to JADE HELM. They're relating the store closings. So if you're thinking, oh, whoopsie, it looks like something is really about to go down in the United States, I would have to agree with you. So what, and I do have another take on all this, by the way, that I do want to share with you. That's, that's hopeful and encouraging. But what needs to happen here, we in the United States have been pretty lackadaisical about taking responsibility for our own destiny. Most of us, if surveys are accurate, a lot of the people in the United States couldn't tell you where Yemen's located on a map. And I can tell you from my work as a therapist that a lot of Americans don't even know most of the state capitals in America. Most people have not taken the time to read anything about our history beyond what their 3rd or 4th grade American history books told them. Most people swallow university teachings hook, line, and sinker. It is really easy to impress Americans with degrees, certificates hanging on walls. And there's a control faction in this country who knows that. They know we're vulnerable that way. And they use that to keep us very ignorant. We decide that the person with the certificate on the wall is an expert, and that we're not qualified to disagree with an expert. We tend to think because something is in a book, or especially in a textbook, that it's factual. We blindly trust that we have a government. And now we've got evidence, hard evidence, that we do not have a government, that we have a corporation that's out to control us. It's actually out to, thin out the population, especially here in the United States. But we're so used to those easy chairs. You know, I've probably shared this with y'all before, but I heard a speaker one time. He asked a question. He said, "What do you think the most dangerous thing in your house is?" And of course I'm thinking, yeah, the biggest gun or a knife or, the food processor, or chop and chop, chop, chop. He paused just the right amount of time. And he said, "Your easy chair. Because you're so comfortable that you don't do anything about what you see going on around you." We are like babies, Our easy chairs are like our cribs. When we come home from work and we deserve goodies, popcorn, potato chips. We sit down in front of the TV, we get the remote, and we stay there. We go to bed, a lot of us with the television on. It's still on when we wake up, sometimes if it's not on a timer. And then we go to work, and then we do the same thing over and over again. And while we're doing that, a malevolent element is building tunnels beneath our land and smuggling crap all across our land in such a way that they can come up from under the ground anytime they want and do anything they want, because we allowed it to be passed in law that they could detain us if they think we're a terrorist indefinitely without any charges being brought. The NDAA. So it's time that we take these videos and the ones, when I reference videos and these videos, go to those channels, because those guys, they have good information. Visit all these channels, all these little independent news channels. Visit them. They've got links. Let's spread this information far and wide. And that'll be it for tonight. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Goes all the way to Washington, D.C., huh? Goes all the way to Washington, D.C. Yeah, you Homeland Security? Yeah. How far have you taken this down to, how far have you actually ran a load? 100 miles? Up to Maine? No shit. How many miles do you think that is? Man, that's unbelievable. Not to mention, I heard there's one that goes all the way to Colorado, right? Unbelievable. What do you think you're hauling? Any idea?
Crap.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Crap makes all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You don't really know.
Yeah. I know there's been a lot of military stuff being hauled around lately, that's for sure, huh?
Yeah, but not in, we deliver to military.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. 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 Well, I appreciate, I heard that's water supply, food supply, everything's in there.
Huh?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Did you know get no cell phone for service.
No. Peace, brother. I mean, basically, you got an underground roadway system here that runs all the way to Maine, to Washington, D.C., to Colorado. It's fully stocked. It runs completely underground. And you can see they've been hauling tons of military equipment. You know, they're stocking all these bases. Now, the other thing is the railroad system here is also very strategic. They're bringing in boxcar loads and they're dump shipping here, and they can really deliver to all these locations, which these locations go all the way to Area 51. These locations go all the way to Washington, D.C. There's access underneath the White House to this location, okay? So this is a strategic location, which is really the new command center for the Illuminati and the United States government. Well, forget the United States government. This is a headquarters for the Illuminati. This is where they'll ship most of their supplies. When they go underground, they can stay underground for quite some time. And this is stocked with food, water, everything they need. It's an underground city. So this is the north entrance, and we're going to go see if we can do some more digging.
Well, it would seem some very strange happenings are going on. First, I remind you to go back in history and remember Donald Rumsfeld's comment the day before the attack of 9/11, where he said that the Pentagon had lost $2.3 trillion, and then just fortunately, then the Pentagon was destroyed the next day on 9/11/2001. Well, I believe a lot of that money went to go to spending for certain operations for the CIA, FEMA, Homeland Security, and a lot of that was building underground military complex. Fast forward to August of this year, if you remember that DC that happened, Virginia, Washington DC, and also in Colorado, there's evidence pointing to that not being an earthquake as much as it was probably a nuclear explosion done by the good guys, the Black Ops military, who found out about the evil plans of the globalists that were planning on killing off a huge percentage of the population and going and running and hiding in the military underground complex. So what they've done is cut off some escape routes during that time. And the reason I say it was probably nuclear as opposed to an earthquake is the seismographs show that there were no primary waves associated with these two explosions, and they were very shallow, and also in an area that doesn't receive many earthquakes. Now, the latest report that I'm getting is long about September 20th, 21st, 22nd of this year, there were at least 13 very powerful underground explosions rocking the United States Midwest, and they registered as small shallow earthquakes with the USGS. Many of the underground high explosive detonations registered as 2.6 magnitude earthquakes. So what they're saying is the U.S. military is sealing off the tunnels so that the globalists and the U.S. ghost government, i.e. the Federal Reserve bankers, FEMA, the DHS, CIA, they can't run and hide from what they're predicting to occur here long about September 27th, give or take a day or two of this year, here just real soon. Officers and the U.S. military didn't seem to be aware of Obama and the globalist plan converging on Denver for a DEFCON 1 meeting, meaning nuclear war imminent. A cocked pistol drill email was sent to the U.S. Air Force Office of Special Investigations on September 21st of 2011 to alert them to a planned false flag nuclear detonation on U.S. soil somewhere in the American Midwest. The U.S. Air Force Office of Special Investigations were the ones who raided the Citadel gun and safe store in Las Vegas on August 21st to recover stolen nuclear warhead detonators. They were the ones who intercepted the transfer of improvised nuclear warheads by the CIA in the tunnels that connected the deep underground military bases on August 23, 2011. The impoverished nuclear bombs, the W-54 style warheads, they were being transferred via those tunnels to Washington, D.C. and New York City when they detonated during a firefight between U.S. military personnel and the criminal CIA, DHS, FEMA operatives. It would appear that the U.S. military had a deadline to meet and has already damaged, destroyed, or sealed at least 13 underground tunnels or bases, and perhaps their incentive was the fact that Obama, his shadow government, and the globalists had made plans to save their own hides while leaving the rest of us to fend for ourselves. Perhaps they investigated and confirmed that another false flag nuclear detonation was imminent and acted accordingly to prevent it.
The following video details the contents of a Department of Defense document entitled Internment and Resettlement Operations, also known as FM 3-39.40. The document is 325 pages long and it is signed by Joyce E. Morrow, Administrative Assistant to the Secretary of the Army. It was created in 2010, however, has just been recently leaked to the public via the internet and can now be downloaded from multiple sources. In the description below, you'll find a download link for the document. I strongly encourage you to download it yourself and to verify everything that's being said here. The document outlines military procedures for internment and resettlement of civilians, and it describes the layout and the administration of these internment camps. It clearly states on page 38 that it applies within U.S. territory, and it specifically addresses the detainment of U.S. citizens, as is indicated by the identification procedures for new prisoners on page 146, which states that social security numbers are to be recorded alongside their photograph and fingerprints. Included in the list of organizations which may be involved in these internment operations are the Department of Homeland Security, FEMA, the Department of Defense, and the United Nations. On page 56, the document outlines the responsibilities of psychological operations officers within the camps, among which it states that a PSYOP officer develops and executes indoctrination programs to reduce or remove antagonistic attitudes and identifies political activists. On page 281, the document goes into more detail regarding the role of psychological operations within the camps, specifically in regards to pacifying the population and ensuring cooperation. On page 238, it gives the conditions for the use of deadly force in such camps. Among the justifications for lethal force, it includes to terminate an active escape attempt. That point right there should make it clear that these camps are not benevolent disaster relief type facilities. On page 244, the document calls for the use of snipers during riots to, quote, scan a crowd and identify agitators and riot leaders for apprehension and fire lethal rounds if warranted. On page 260, it shows the basic layout for a facility focusing on detainment. It is depicted with interrogation areas, tribunal areas, and mortuaries. Each detainment facility is designed to hold 4,000 prisoners, and they are depicted with multiple levels of barbed wire separating compartments within the facilities, with a double barbed wire fence enclosing them, and watched over by 24 guard towers. On page 261, the document depicts the layout for what they call civilian resettlement facilities, which are designed to house 8,000 people. Though it uses the word resettlement, the plans show multiple levels of barbed wire dividing the sections of the facility, with double barbed wire fencing on the outside, as well as 16 guard towers. On page 262, the layout for facilities designed for what they call non-compliant prisoners is shown. These camps are designed to hold up to 300 prisoners, they have 3 interrogation centers, and are guarded by 13 guard towers. Now, if there's any question whether these plans are active or just theoretical, this should be settled by the fact that the U.S. Army has been running ads for job positions in these camps since 2009, and apparently, they're still hiring. Once again, if you look in the description, you'll find all the links you need to verify this information. It's important to note here that this document was created in 2010, with which was under the Obama administration. And it predates the NDAA of 2012, which authorized military detainment of U.S. citizens. This clearly shows a long-term agenda at work. If you believe that this is important information for people to know about, then please share this video with as many people as you can. Share it on Facebook and on Twitter. Send it in emails to friends and family. Especially send it to anyone you know within the police and military. A smart strategy would be to download the PDF yourself and email it to people as an attachment with a link to this video so that they know how to navigate the document. If you want more content like this, be sure to subscribe to this channel, Storm Clouds Gathering, on YouTube. For bonus content, follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Storm Clouds Gathering, on Twitter at Collapse Updates, and our website, stormcloudsgathering.com.
When it comes to this Wal-Mart mystery and all the suspicion surrounding it and the excuse that plumbing's going on at 4 or 5 of these different facilities has brought a lot of questions up, and a lot of people have been digging here and there to see what they can come up with. I want to give a shout out to everybody out there, Rise Together, and those on Twitter that help share these links. This information is being brought up that Walmart has been in this special kind of partnership in this war against terror with DHS. All the proof is right here. This is from 2010. They even put out a video clip, which I'll share at the very end, which they were going to play in Walmarts in every aisle. and it's on their official channel here. Okay, and they say that if you see anything suspicious at Walmart in the parking lot, report it to the police or your Walmart manager. This will help to identify and report indicators of terrorism, crime, and threats to law enforcement. Now, in this information, in digging, we come to find out that there has been projects in different areas, not specifically tied to the exact Walmarts that have closed down at the moment, but they could very well be going through a process connecting them to an underground network. And this is a very real situation. This was brought up years and years ago, over a decade ago, when in Georgia they were getting the funding and passing this Homeland Security in order to secure the safety of citizens in case of a nuclear, biological, chemical, or other attack. This was a joint venture by the NSA, DOD, DHS. You can see them all listed here. And these tunnels were to serve as conduits from specific places to rapidly move supplies or whatever they need between these locations. Now, there was big-time facilities listed right here, but the main one being in Georgia because it was center to everything. It was to be the main hub. Now you have all this information here talking about these underground connections to these Walmart facilities. And you even have the discussion and the feedback. I'll leave all this here. But this basically talks about installations in Anniston, Alabama, another one in Georgia, Lockheed in Marietta, Lookout Mountain in Tennessee, Greenville, Spartanburg, South Carolina, and Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina areas. And this Paulding, Yorkville area was the first location that this was going to kick off at. Now, I've left links here so you guys can come back and read up on all the details. But at this point, if there's anything big time going on, the only way that we're going to know for sure is to have people on the ground watching these Walmart facilities and filming to see exactly what's going on. Are there certain Walmarts out there that have underground connections? Well, no doubt. I wouldn't doubt it one bit, especially now that we know the DHS over the past decade has had this deal with not only Walmart but other big sports stadiums and places like that and businesses. This has been Dabu 7. Eyes open.
Hi, I'm Janet Napolitano, Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Homeland Security begins with hometown security. That's why I'm pleased that Walmart is helping to make our communities more safe and secure. If you see something suspicious in the parking lot or in the store, say something immediately. Report suspicious activity to your local police or sheriff. If you need help, ask a Walmart manager for assistance. Thank you for doing your part to help keep our hometowns safe.
Hey guys, I want to come in here and make this video. I've done some little research on my own. Basically because of the rumors that's going around about the Walmart centers being FEMA camps and FEMA processing centers. The ones that's closed anyway. Because they're all in the right locations next to big main roads and freeways. You can see this one, it's in a pretty densely neighborhood, and it's the Pico Rivera Walmart in California. You see here it says temporary closed. Well, right here's the main 4-lane. If you go on down, probably about 2 miles, I'd say, basically within minutes of the store. Look what you got right here. That's a 605 freeway. And for y'all that know anything about freeways or anything, you know that is a pretty major freeway in California. Go to the next one. This one is Livingston, Texas. You see it's temporarily closed. There's a big 4-lane right there, and it connects with this big 4-lane that runs up and down Texas. So it's pretty convenient too. And the next one is Midland, Texas, and it's right here on the big 4-lane, and that's a loop that goes around. I guess it goes around Midland, Texas. I'm going to zoom out because it connects to I-20, which that's very important if you're buying into this stuff. And right there's I-20. I'll click on the map, you'll see it better. Reason that's important, I-20 starts in South Carolina. It runs all the way through Texas to Arizona. I believe it ends in Arizona. I may be mistaken on that. And it connects with I-10, and that pretty much, I-10 goes right into LA. And it runs all the way across the United States on the southern half of the United States. That's why that's important. And here's the next one in Tulsa, Oklahoma. This one's pretty convenient. I mean, it goes right here to 244. That's a major interstate in Tulsa, and it connects with I-44. And then you got this last one right here in Brandon, Florida. And it's got a major road right there, and you just go to the left. If I can get this thing to do. It's basically right outside Tampa, Florida. And now this is going to screw up. There we go. Come on over. It's basically with like 2 or 3 minutes possibly. You know how people drive. That's right there. That's I-75. And the reason that is important, I get this map to come up right. And it ain't, there we go. See, I-75. Reason that's important, that runs from Michigan all the way down to Florida. And I-75 crosses I-20 and I-10. And it connects with I-20 in, guess where? Atlanta, Georgia. And that's another FEMA camp for a region of the southern United States. Ain't that convenient? But anyway, I figured I'd share this with y'all. Y'all can draw your own conclusions. Please don't leave any comments saying I'm a conspiracy nut, don't know what I'm talking about. I just thought I would share this. Try to clear up some rumors, but it looked like it just dug deeper into it. So, I mean, y'all can clear it up for yourself or do what you want to with it, like it, don't like it. I thought I'd get this information out there. Y'all have a good day and God bless.
This is Dabu7. A heads up. If you're going through Iowa or if you live there, you might notice extra emergency vehicles and all these public safety officers running around in all their tactical gear, in hazmat suits, bomb suits. It's all part of the statewide drill that they are hosting today and tomorrow to prepare emergency personnel for dealing with weapons of mass destruction. That is the official reason for all this. They say that they're the #1 seed producer with corn and soy, chicken embryo development, and they're right in the middle of the country's heartland. They also state there's going to be upcoming events happening that they're going to be hosting here this summer, and they want to make sure that everyone is prepared, and they have to be prepared for anything they state. So, just wanted to make note of this massive drill going down in Iowa. I'll leave a link with more information. It's been Dabu7. Peace.